Angry guy here. And white men and black men are refusing to date women of their own race. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing if you already haven't done so. Like the video and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. So I wanted you guys to check out a comment that I actually received, and I found it pretty intriguing. And it talks about going outside of the United States and how a lot of men are feeling about this. I'm regularly telling men, go where you are appreciated, go where you are celebrated. And there's a lot of men who are going outside of the US to countries that are still Western, but they are more, the women in these countries appreciate the men more and they even celebrate them. However, we are finding that a lot of men, black men, don't want to deal with black women anymore. White men don't want to deal with white women anymore. Look at this comment from this individual. He says, don't date women in any Scandinavian country or in the UK, Ireland, France, Australia, New Zealand, New Zealand, the Benelux countries, or Canada. Even in Germany, be wary. Bad quality women. Oh my gosh. And this is a part of a larger problem, guys. This is a part of a much, much larger problem with how men are viewing the world today and viewing women. I remember a guy many years ago. His name was I Am Serious. He was a part of the Migglypuff community, but he was also a passport bro. And he had gone to, I believe it was Indonesia. He had a son in Indonesia with an Indonesian woman. But of course, women are women everywhere you go. And the relationship with the woman who he had married over there fell apart. But regardless, he was still much happier over in Indonesia than being in Western society. And he said something very interesting to me. So I saw what I Am Serious looked like, and I was shocked by his appearance. I Am Serious, sometimes the voice doesn't match the face. And he was this white surfer looking dude with, if I remember, like blue eyes and blonde hair. And I was like, what the heck, bro? This is you? And this dude legit said that he did not find white women attractive anymore. And he said that he could not even get excited, so he could not become stimulated when seeing a Caucasian woman. And these were his exact words, that he felt nothing at all. And this is his mindset, how his mindset had absolutely changed. He was so hurt and so damaged by women who looked like him that he had now associated them with being bad. If you look at what's happening with the passport bros in Western society, specifically the black passport bros right now, these men are going overseas, and I'm going to go back to the white guys in a moment. These men, the black guys, the passport kings, black passport kings, are going overseas, and most of them are not going to Colombia to date black Colombian women. There's a pattern. We are noticing a pattern. They are deliberate. A lot of them go to Dominican Republic, and of course, those women are black in Dominican Republic. However, many passport bros, they're going to other countries and they are literally abstaining away from black women. If they were looking for black women in these countries, they would be going specifically for black women. You go to the Dominican Republic, that's kind of what you have to work with, right? But if you go to Colombia, you have many other women to choose from. And if you notice, many of these passport kings are steering away from black women. If they truly wanted black women who are submissive and beautiful, and have some of them even have European traits, they could go to countries in Africa. They honestly could. Ethiopia, you have a lot of women in these countries who have a mixture of qualities and traits. And yet you don't see black passport kings flooding Africa. You don't see them going to Colombia and specifically seeking out, Afro Latinas. what's going on here? The honest to goodness truth is that a lot of these men now associate being black with bad. And I hate, and not to say that black is bad, but when they look at choosing a woman, they associate that with bad. They are afraid of being in a relationship, or they're choosing to steer clear of women who look like them. Even sometimes I see comments from some simps who are like, "Oh, I love black women. I love me a black woman, but after what's happened, I'm not messing around with them." Password kings for life, and they say password bros, but this password kings, you know. And this is literally it. Even the simps are afraid of messing around with black women. But I said I was going to go back to the white guys in a moment. I'm going to go back to them now, guys. Asian women in America only make up 8.2% of the marriageable population, and yet 25% of all marriages among white men are between white men and Asian women. 25%. These are voodoo statistics, bro. Voodoo statistics. This basically means that there are a lot of white men who will sit there and refuse to get married unless it's to an Asian. This is how insane it is. Like, women in Western society do not see that they are being replaced. They think that these men are going overseas because they cannot get a woman in America. And what they don't understand is that these men don't want a woman from America or from Western societies. But it's getting so bad right now that when these white guys can go over to Eastern Europe, they can go to Europe, they can go to Eastern Europe, and they can find a lot of great women in these Eastern European countries. No, they are deliberately saying, nope, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not interested in dating, or marrying a Caucasian woman. And it's the same thing is happening with these black men. Nope, no thank you. I'm not interested in marrying or dating an African woman, a woman of a black woman, or Afro Latina, or whatever. And it's crazy. And that's not to say it does not happen, but when you're dealing with a woman who's just black or white, a lot of these men are steering clear of women who look like them. They are literally deliberately choosing to date outside of their race now. They are losing attraction to women in their races because they are now associating women in their races as being problematic, or literally an obstacle to their survival. Because if you think about the basis of how we operate, it's survival and replication. We survive so we can replicate. We replicate so that we can survive. But the ultimate goal is survival. We replicate so that we can survive, and that's really it. The ultimate goal is survival. You know, so I mean, we survive so we can replicate, but we're only replicating so that we can survive. So the ultimate goal, so it's basically a virtuous cycle where the ultimate goal always remains survival. And women forgot this. They've completely forgotten this concept. Men are built for survival. Hence, men can handle suffering in ways that women cannot. Women cannot suffer. Women can handle pain. When you look at childbirth, they can handle pain, but they cannot handle suffering. They cannot handle suffering. For example, men don't like to be in pain. There's some men who deal with it really well, because there are some men that like eat pain like it's Wheaties, or Frosted Flakes. But but when it comes to suffering, a man can suffer. And it's interesting because men can find light in suffering. It's crazy. I was reading. I forget if it was a book that I was reading, and it was about a man who had survived the events of World of WW2. He was in a camp, and he looked at that. There's a famous photo where you have a bunch of men who are in one of these places, and they're very scaunt, they're very skinny, And people say, oh my gosh, look at these men, how badly they're suffering. And when he looks at that picture, he sees something different. He thinks that was just a normal day for us. We were just chilling, you know? That wasn't even a bad day for us. We were just chilling. We had laughed that day. We had told some stories that day. It's all about perception. And for a woman, for women, that would be the the pits of suffering and despair. But for men who have learned from since they were children that in life there will be suffering, and if you do not fight for your survival, you will not survive, versus women who are handed everything just because they exist, just because they are capable of reproduction. But as men are walking away from Western society and relationships in Western society, women don't understand what they have lost and how much they've messed it up for other women in the rest of the world, where there are so many men now associating their own race when it comes to reproduction as, nope, I don't want to have a relationship there. Black men look at the Black community and they're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. They look at their mothers and the way that their mothers lived and the way that their mothers acted, and they're like, they want to have nothing to do with women like that. And what's happening right now, it's replacement. This is like women in Western society, they are being replaced and they don't even understand it. They don't even comprehend it because they are so far gone. They're like, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. They're like, buy a one-way ticket, y'all, buy a one-way ticket. Y'all are a bunch of no goods, y'all a bunch of scumbags. They don't understand that a country without its men is not a country, it's a wasteland. It's an absolute and utter wasteland. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, like the video, and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. White men and Black men are refusing to date women of their own race. I want to know your thoughts on this in the comments, guys, so let's talk about them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.